The CRSH was a quiet night in the small village of Elmswood. The stars were shining above, and the wind moved slowly through the trees. People were asleep in their homes. Everything felt peaceful, but far above the earth, something strange was happening. A small object moved quickly through the sky. It was burning, falling fast. A loud boom echoed in the night, followed by a flash of light. Birds flew from the trees. Dogs barked in the distance. In a small farmhouse at the edge of the village, a man named Daniel woke up with a start. He was in his 30s, a simple farmer who lived alone. He rubbed his eyes and listened. The sound was fading, but he was sure something had crashed nearby. He grabbed a flashlight and stepped outside. The air smelled like smoke. Daniel looked toward the dark forest behind his fields. There was a faint glow between the trees. What was that? He whispered to himself. Curious and a little worried, Daniel walked across the field and into the woods. The light became brighter as he got closer. Soon, he reached a small clearing. And there, in the middle of it, was something he never thought he would see. A spaceship. It was small, silver, and badly damaged. Smoke rose from its sides. Sparks flew from broken parts. It looked like it had been shot down. Daniel stood still, his heart beating fast. He had only seen things like this in movies. Slowly, he moved closer. The ship made a soft humming sound. A part of it opened with a hiss. Inside, there was someone lying on the floor. Not a man. Not a woman, but something different. It was a girl, maybe 17 or 18 in human years, with silver blue skin and long white hair. Her clothes were torn, and she had a deep wound on her arm. Her eyes were closed, but she was breathing. She looked weak, hurt, and afraid. Daniel didn't know what to do. He took a step back, but then, the girl opened her eyes. They were large, bright, and full of fear. She tried to sit up but winced in pain. Daniel spoke gently. Hey, are you okay? The girl stared at him. Her lips moved slowly. Her voice was soft and strange, like music and wind at the same time. They are coming, she said. They want me dead. And then she fainted. Daniel caught her before she fell. He stood there holding her, his mind racing. Who was she? Where did she come from? And who was chasing her? The ship suddenly made a loud noise and sparked again. Daniel knew he couldn't leave her here. He picked her up in his arms. She was light, almost like air. He looked back at the ship one last time. Then he ran, back through the woods, across the field, into his barn. He laid the girl gently on a bed of hay. He covered her with an old blanket. Her face was pale, and her wound still bled a little. Daniel looked for something to clean it. He found a cloth and some warm water. As he cleaned the wound, the girl opened her eyes again. She looked at him, confused. You're safe now, Daniel said quietly. She nodded slowly, her eyes closing again. Outside, the wind howled. Far away, deep in the night sky, a strange shape moved above the clouds, silent and dark. Something was looking for her. The hidden Cicerita. Night was quiet again. But Daniel couldn't sleep. He sat on a wooden stool inside his barn, staring at the strange girl lying in the hay. A soft glow came from her skin, like moonlight touching silver. Her breathing was slow, but steady. She looked peaceful now, but Daniel knew the peace would not last. She wasn't from this world, and something or someone was coming for her. Daniel stood up and looked at the old radio on the shelf. He had once used it to listen to weather news. Now it was broken. He sighed, then turned his eyes back to the girl. Suddenly she moved. Her eyes opened wide and sharp. She sat up fast and reached for something invisible. Her hands moved quickly in the air, as if she was typing on a screen only she could see. Daniel stepped back, alarmed. Whoa, hey, it's okay. You're safe here, he said, raising his hands. The girl looked at him, her breathing heavy. Then, slowly, her fingers stopped moving. The glow on her skin faded slightly. "Where am I?" she asked in a soft voice. "My barn," Daniel replied. "You crashed. I found you." She looked around, confused. Then she whispered, "Did they follow me?" Daniel frowned. "Who?" The girl didn't answer. Instead, she reached into the cloth around her waist. From it, she pulled out a small, glowing crystal shaped like a drop of water. It floated above her hand for a moment, then dropped softly into her palm. "This is all I have left," she said. "This ... and my name." Daniel leaned in. "What's your name?" She hesitated, then said, "Alira. I am ... was Princess of Veralia." Daniel blinked. "You're a princess?" Alira nodded. "My people were attacked. My father, my home, gone." Her voice cracked. She held the crystal tightly. "They wanted this," she whispered. "They destroyed everything to take it." Daniel sat down across from her. "What does it do?" Alira looked at him. "It holds power, ancient power. It's also a key. If it falls into the wrong hands, not just my world, but yours will be in danger too." Daniel didn't know what to say. He looked at the crystal, then at her face so full of pain and loss. "You don't have to trust me," he said, "but I want to help." Alira stared at him for a moment. Then, slowly she opened her hand. The crystal floated again, and a soft blue light filled the barn. Images appeared in the air, moving like ghosts. A tall alien king standing beside a young Alira, spaceships flying through stars, a giant tower exploding, a shadowy figure holding a red blade. Daniel watched, silent. It was like watching a dream. The images vanished, and the crystal dropped back into Alira's hand. "That's my world," she said. "Or what's left of it." Daniel took a deep breath. "We'll keep you safe. We'll figure this out." But just as he said that, a loud knock echoed from outside the barn door. Daniel's heart stopped. He stood slowly, walked to the small window, and peeked out. A man was standing near his house. Black coat, hat, not from the village. Daniel walked outside and closed the barn door behind him. The man smiled, but his smile didn't reach his eyes. "Evenin'. Heard a loud noise last night," the man said in a slow, cold voice. "You see anything unusual, farmer?" Daniel shook his head. "No, just thunder maybe." "Storm clouds," the man nodded. Strange lights were seen above your farm. People are curious." Daniel forced a chuckle. "Well, I wouldn't know about that." The man stepped closer. His eyes, red for a split second, glowed in the moonlight. Daniel felt his stomach turn. This man wasn't normal. "If you see anything strange," the man said, "he let us know." Then he turned and walked away into the darkness. Daniel stood frozen. He knew one thing for sure now. Alira wasn't just being hunted, she was being tracked. The chase began. The sun was rising, but the sky looked tired, gray clouds hanging low like a warning. Daniel didn't sleep that night. He sat on the porch of his farmhouse, shotgun resting beside him, eyes fixed on the road. His mind kept replaying the red-eyed man's visit. That wasn't just a curious stranger. That was a hunter. And he knew something. Behind him, in the barn, the alien girl, Alira, was awake. Her energy was returning. She moved quietly now, her steps soft but sharp, like someone who had been hiding all her life. Daniel finally stood up and walked into the barn. Alira was sitting near the hay, the small glowing crystal floating in front of her. It rotated slowly, humming like a whisper. "I think they found you," Daniel said. She nodded without looking. "They always find me." Daniel grabbed the backpack and tossed a few tools inside. "Then we don't wait for them to knock again." Alira looked at him, surprised. "You're coming with me?" Daniel paused. "You crashed into my life. I don't know why. But something tells me, if I let you go alone, I'll regret it. Forever." A moment passed. Then, for the first time, Alira smiled. Just a little, hours later. Daniel's old pickup truck raced down a dirt road, kicking up dust. Alira sat in the passenger seat, watching the trees blur by. Her skin had faded from silver blue to a soft pale tone, an effect of her body's camouflage. She could blend, but only for a short time. They were heading toward the edge of the village, to a place few people knew. Daniel's old friend Marcus lived there. A strange, quiet man, a genius with machines. Daniel hoped he could help Dot as they reached the gate of Marcus's junkyard lab. A camera on a pole turned toward them. A robotic voice crackled. "Daniel, what kind of trouble did you bring this time?" The gate creaked open. Inside, machines lay in pieces. Screens blinked, drones hovered in silence. Marcus stepped out. Wild hair, greasy gloves, curious eyes. Then he saw Alira and stopped. "That's not human," he whispered. "Yeah," Daniel replied. "She's not." Inside the lab, Alira showed Marcus the crystal. His eyes widened. This isn't just power. This is ancient tech, layered code, living memory. I've never seen anything like it. "She needs help," Daniel said. "We need to send a signal to her people." "She's running out of time," Marcus nodded slowly. "I might have something. But if we activate it, others might hear too." "We don't have a choice," Alira said. Just then, boom. The lab lights flickered. The ground shook. Outside, in the sky, a black drone hovered. Then another. And another. "They're here," Alira whispered. Marcus cursed. "They tracked the energy spike." "Daniel, get to the back." "Alira, take this." He tossed her a small silver device. "It'll hide your signal for a few minutes." Daniel opened a hidden door behind the tool racks. The three of them slipped out into a tunnel that led under the hill. As they moved, Alira turned to Daniel. "They don't just want the crystal. They want me alive, for now." "Why alive?" Daniel asked. She looked down. "Because I'm the only one left who can unlock it." Back in the lab, one of the drones scanned the empty room. Then a figure stepped in through the broken door, the red-eyed man. He picked up a strand of Alira's silver hair. Then he smiled. "They're running. Good. That makes it more fun." The memory. Devivi Venhol smelled like old metal and earth. Their footsteps echoed through the narrow passage as Daniel, Alira, and Marcus moved quickly under the ground. The hum of drones above had faded, but the fear still followed them, silent and heavy. Alira was the only one not breathing hard. She walked calmly, holding the glowing crystal in both hands. Its light was brighter now, pulsing gently. Almost like it was alive. They reached the end of the tunnel, a metal hatch leading to an abandoned radio tower. Marcus opened it and climbed out. Daniel helped Alira through next. As the cold wind hit her face, Alira closed her eyes. For a moment, she was silent. Then she spoke softly. "It's time you knew the truth." Daniel looked at her. "The truth about what?" She held out the crystal. "This is not just power. It's memory." Flash, light bursts from the crystal. The air around them shimmered. Suddenly, the world changed. They were no longer standing near the radio tower. Instead, they stood inside a giant white hall made of glass and stars. It wasn't real. It was a memory, a projection, alive inside the crystal. Alira stood in the center, her form glowing. Behind her stood a tall man with gold armor, her father, the king of Veralia. "This is my home," she said softly. "This is what they destroyed." Daniel turned slowly, staring at the floating towers, the skies full of silver ships, and the people tall and graceful, laughing, alive. Then, the sky turned black. Ships began exploding. Screams filled the air. A red symbol appeared in the sky, an enemy mark. "A traitor rose among us," Alira continued. "He wanted the throne. My father refused. So, he burned everything." The image shifted to a dark room. Her father handed her the crystal. Take it, he said in the memory. Find Earth, hide it. This crystal holds not just power, but our entire history. It must survive. Then the vision shattered. They were back outside. Standing in the wind, Marcus was speechless. Daniel turned to Alira. That's why they want it. It's more than energy, she nodded. It holds ancient technology, lost knowledge, royal codes. If they unlock it, they'll control not just my people, but maybe all life connected to this galaxy. Sudden noise. A drone whirs overhead. Daniel grabbed Alira's hand. We have to move. But Alira fell to her knees. Her breathing changed. She looked dizzy, weak. What's happening? Daniel shouted. Marcus scanned her with a small device. She's not built for Earth's air. Her body is adjusting, but too slowly. She's using energy to stay alive. And the memory drain made it worse. Daniel looked around. We need help fast. Marcus pointed toward the edge of the valley. There's an old satellite base. Government left it years ago. If we power it, we can send a full signal across galaxies. But we'll have company. Daniel picked up Alira. She's out of time. Let's go. Far away, enemy ship interior in a dark ship above Earth. The red-eyed man stood before a screen. He watched the memory stream from the crystal hacked in real time. He turned to his commander. They've activated the device. The commander growled. Then move in. Get the girl. Kill the human. The man smiled with pleasure. Back to Daniel's group. In a jeep racing through the hills, the jeep bounced over the broken road. Alira lay in the back, eyes closed, crystal glowing in her hands like it was trying to keep her alive. Daniel looked at the sky. Ships were coming. He could feel it, and this time, they weren't going to hide. The BTRAYL darkness, silence, then gunfire. The old satellite station echoed with the sound of blaster shots. Daniel kicked the heavy door open as Marcus pulled Alira inside. Her body was shaking now. The crystal was dim. Her energy fading fast. She doesn't have much time. Marcus shouted. The station was cold, dusty, and broken. Screens were cracked. Cables hung like vines. But the core equipment was still. They're a large tower, rusted but alive. Marcus rushed to the control panel and started typing. Daniel laid Alira gently on a table. Her skin had turned almost white now, and her breathing was shallow. Just a little more, Daniel whispered. Hold on. Alira opened her eyes slightly. Don't trust everyone. Daniel frowned. What? But she passed out again. Minutes earlier, a hidden call while Daniel was helping Alira. Marcus had stepped into the shadows and pulled out a tiny communicator. He whispered into it. She's here, the crystal too. Send the strike team. But I want my reward, a voice replied coldly. Do your part, and Earth will be spared. Now, back at the satellite station, the tower slowly powered up. Lights blinked. The signal started to rise. It's working, Marcus said. Just a few more minutes. But Daniel noticed something strange. Marcus wasn't typing anymore. He was stalling. What's taking so long? Daniel asked. Marcus turned. The signal's slow. I need to bypass. Daniel stepped closer. You're lying. Marcus froze. What did you say? You're stalling. You called them, didn't you? Marcus sighed, then smiled. I never thought you'd figure it out. Bang! Marcus pulled a hidden blaster and shot Daniel in the shoulder. He fell back, groaning. In pain. Sorry, old friend, Marcus said, but I made a deal. I survive, you don't. Suddenly, a glowing blast hit Marcus's hand, knocking the gun away. It was Alira. She stood, barely, one hand glowing with energy. You betrayed him, she said, voice shaking. And your kind betrayed mine, Marcus snapped. Why should I care about some alien princess? Alira's eyes began to glow. For a moment, the room lit up with her power. Because without me, your world dies too. Explosion outside. Enemy has arrived. The roof shook. Red lights flashed. Enemy ships were landing. Alira fell again, her strength almost gone. Daniel crawled to her side, wounded. "We're not done yet," he whispered. He reached into her hand, took the crystal, and pushed it into the satellite core. Final moments. The signal the entire tower lit up. A wave of light shot into the sky. Far across the stars. Something answered. A distant voice filled the air. "Signal received. Hold your ground. Help is coming." But Marcus wasn't done. He picked up the blaster again. Aimed at Alira. Daniel saw him. No time to think. Bang, one shot. Marcus fell. Daniel's hand was shaking, but he had fired first. Alira reaches for his hand. "You saved me." "Again, not just you," Daniel said. "Everyone." Above them, the clouds tore open. A giant ship, bright silver and massive, broke through the sky. Her people had returned. The last signal silence. Then a heartbeat. Boom. Boom. Daniel could hear it, not his own, but the heartbeat of the alien ship above them. It pulsed in the sky like a sleeping giant, floating just beyond the clouds, waiting. The rescue ship from Alira's people had arrived. But so had the enemy, and the final battle was moments away. Inside the satellite base, the floor was cracked. Smoke drifted in the air. Daniel's arm was wrapped in cloth. He was still bleeding from Marcus's shot, but he didn't stop. He couldn't. Alira sat near the satellite core, weak, pale, but alive. The crystal had returned to its full glow, floating again, like it had its own soul. She looked up at Daniel. "They'll come for it. For me. You don't have to stay." Daniel checked his gun, his jaw tight. "You crashed into my life, remember? I'm not going anywhere." They both shared a quiet look, not romantic, but full of respect, trust, and something new. Hope. Outside. Storm is coming. The sky cracked open as enemy ships dropped from orbit. Sleek, black and deadly. At the front, the red-eyed man stood on a hovercraft, leading them. "Bring me the girl. Kill the rest." Hundreds of drones activated, swarming down like metallic bees. But inside the base, Daniel had a plan. The final defense begins with Marcus gone. Daniel and Alira had the full base under their control. The signal tower was now also a shield transmitter. Daniel powered up the outer defense grid. Lights flickered. Panels opened. Hidden cannons and force fields came to life. "How do you know how to do this?" Alira asked, surprised. "Marcus used to cheat at video games," Daniel said. "I watched him every time." She smiled faintly. The battle starts. The first wave of drones hit the shield. Sparks flew. Explosions shook the building. The return of HFY. It was quiet again, but not the same quiet as before. Not the peaceful kind. This was the quiet that comes after a storm, after fire, after battle, after survival. Daniel stood on the edge of the ruined satellite station. Smoke curled from the hills below, where enemy drones still burned in twisted metal. Pieces of the skyship drifted above in silence, and next to him, floating like a ghost, was the crystal. It was no longer glowing bright, just a soft blue heartbeat, like it was resting. Finally, Alira walks forward slowly. Her steps were light, graceful, but tired. Her silver skin shimmered in the sunlight for the first time. She was no longer hiding. No longer running. Her people, tall, armored, royal, stood in a circle around her. One stepped forward, kneeling. "Princess Alira, the council awaits your command." "What is your wish?" Alira looked at them then. At the world around her, at Earth. She didn't speak right away. Instead, she walked to Daniel. Daniel was staring at the horizon fields, smoke, broken trees, and beyond all of it, life going on. She stood beside him. "You saved me, and something bigger than me." Daniel didn't answer for a moment. Then he spoke softly. "I didn't save a princess. I helped a person who refused to give up." Alira smiled. "The signal you sent reached more than just my people. It woke something ancient, something good." The lost colonies will return, Veralia will rise again, and Earth will never be the same. A small drone lands beside them. From it a hologram appears, a message from a far galaxy. To the people of Earth, we thank you. One of yours has stood with us, and because of him, a star civilization has been reborn. Alira holds out her hand. Come with us. You've earned your place in the stars. Daniel looked at her hand, then at the crystal, then back to the trees, the wind, the earth. This is my home, he said. But now I know we're not alone. If the stars ever need me again, I'll be ready. Alira nodded. No sadness. Only pride. The final scene. The departure. The Verelian ship hummed to life. It rose from the earth like a silent guardian. Alira stood at the window, looking down at Daniel, a small figure, waving once, standing strong on the planet that changed everything. As the ship vanished into the clouds, a single word echoed from the sky. Thank you. Back on Earth, days later, Daniel returned to his quiet farm. The fields were still here. The sky was still blue, but something had changed in the world, and inside him. In his barn, the crystal's last echo floated in a small metal box, still pulsing faintly, just in case.